All right, so the 12 deliberating jurors are back in the jury box. In addition, we have our alternates seated in the jury box to prevent them from appearing on camera. So those are seats 4 and 11. In addition, seats 3 and 13 are empty as those jurors have been excused. Madam Foreperson, would you please rise? Madam Foreperson, has the jury reached a verdict?
They have, sir.
And is that verdict unanimous?
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm going to read to you each count. Please give me the jury's unanimous response. 1, how do you find as to count 1, endangering the welfare of a child?
Guilty.
2, how do you find as to count 2, murder?
Not guilty.
3, how do you find as to...
The courtroom is silent as the jury walks back in. The judge confirms who is present: the deliberating jurors, the alternates, and the empty seats of those dismissed. Then the big moment arrives. Madam Foreperson, has the jury reached a verdict? She stands, steady but serious. Yes, they have. And the tension spikes instantly. Reaction. This is the moment everything has been building toward. You can feel every heartbeat in that room. Question for viewers. If you were on this jury, what would be the hardest part of delivering a verdict like this?
the charge of aggravated manslaughter?
Guilty.
And you did not answer question 4?
No, sir.
At this time, thank you, Madam Foreperson, you can be seated. At this time, I'm going to poll the jury. Members of the jury, you've heard the verdict as read by your foreperson. At this point, I'm going to ask each juror by number, except the 2 alternates, to respond yes if the verdict read by the foreperson is your verdict, no if the verdict read by the foreperson is not your verdict. Juror number 2.
Count 1, endangering the welfare of a child. Guilty. Count 2, murder. Not guilty. Count 3, aggravated manslaughter. Guilty. The foreperson speaks clearly, but you can hear how heavy those words are. This isn't a small case, and the split between not guilty and guilty shows just how complicated the situation was. Reaction: this verdict delivers both relief and devastation, depending on which side you're on. Question: do you think jurors feel emotional pressure when making decisions that impact someone's entire life?
Juror number 3 is empty. Juror number 4 is alternate. Juror number 5.
Yes.
Juror number 6.
Yes.
Juror number 7.
Yes.
Juror number 8.
Yes.
Juror number 9.
Yes.
Juror number 10.
Yes.
Juror number 11 is an alternate. Juror number 12.
Yes.
Juror number 13 has been excused. Juror number 14.
Yes.
Juror number 15.
Yes.
Juror number 16. Is counsel satisfied that the verdict is unanimous?
Yes.
At this time, I would ask the clerk to record and note in the minutes.
Now the judge pulls the jurors one by one. Each must confirm out loud, yes, this is my verdict. Jury number after jury number repeats the same answer, yes. This is the final seal confirming that the verdict was not divided or uncertain. Reaction? Hearing each juror say yes makes the verdict feel even more final. No room left for doubt. Transition? With the verdict locked in, the judge now turns to the juror's role in the justice system.
That the verdict is unanimous. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the function you have performed is one of the most important civic duties you can ever be called upon to fulfill. With the return of your verdict, your service in this case is complete. Upon your discharge, you are not required, except upon court order, to discuss your deliberations or verdict with anyone. Additionally, no attorney or party or any person acting on their behalf is permitted under our rules of court to examine you or question you or even to discuss with you your verdict or your deliberations or your role in this matter. In some states, judges are actually able to stay.
The judge gives a respectful, almost emotional speech. He thanks the jury, reminding them that their deliberations must stay private. He warns them that no attorney or party is allowed to question them about what happened in that room. He knows jurors often carry that weight home. Would you ever speak to the media if you served on a high-profile jury?
Afterwards and speak to the jurors about the experience. In New Jersey, judges and attorneys are specifically prohibited from doing that. If anyone approaches you associated with the case, the attorneys or the parties, please notify me immediately. It's possible you may be contacted by others, including members of the media. As you know, obviously we had media coverage in this trial. It will be up to each of you to decide whether or not to speak to those persons or entities about your service as a juror. If you agree to be interviewed, you may discuss whatever you want in whatever manner.
The judge explains that New Jersey law does not allow judges or attorneys to chat with jurors after trial, unlike some states. He reminds them to stay cautious, especially if anyone approaches them. It's a reminder that once the verdict is out, the world outside may react, and not everyone will react peacefully. And that leads directly to the next moment, the judge preparing to safely release the jurors.
You deem appropriate. However, I'd ask you to keep these things in mind. The key to your function as jurors has been the free discussion amongst yourselves during deliberations, and the privacy of those deliberations is essential to the continuation of the fair administration of justice. All jurors have the prerogative to keep confidential their communications with their fellow jurors during deliberations. In fact, it is in the public interest that there be the utmost freedom of discussion in the jury room, and that each of you be permitted to express your views without concern for public reaction or criticism. Under no circumstances should you make a statement to the media or anyone else that you would not be willing to repeat under oath in court in the presence of your fellow jurors. But on a personal
The judge tells them they'll be escorted through a private exit for their own safety. He even gently jokes about exchanging phone numbers quickly before leaving, a rare warm moment in such a heavy case. For a second, the courtroom feels more human. You see the bond this group formed during this difficult trial. Do you think jurors should get special protection after emotional cases like this?
note, I want to thank you for your service. I know we told you in the beginning that it's a civic duty, but this case was a long case. It was difficult scheduling issues, and it was a difficult case with a lot of emotion. I told you we had the best justice system in the world, and one of the reasons, probably the principal reason, is because our Constitution guarantees a right to a trial by jury, and we can't do this without you. It's truly remarkable witnessing this reality and your participation in it. It's not only been my pleasure to have you here, it's been my privilege to have you here. I'm going to give you one final instruction, and I'm sure the attorneys join in that, by the way. Our thanks and our appreciation.
As the jurors leave, you hear small bits of real-life chaos. Grabbing phones, boxes, checking the door. The tiny moments that remind you this isn't a movie. This is real life, with real people who gave weeks of their lives to bring justice. Reaction: watching them walk out feels like watching the last chapter of a very long story. Some look tired, some look relieved.
For your attention and also how you've gotten along as a group. But I'm going to give you one final instruction, and that is the Sheriff's Department is going to escort you out that door, out a separate private entrance to the courthouse. I don't want to risk that somebody who's upset one way or the other comes up to you. They're going to make sure there's plenty of officers taken to your cars. So if you want to exchange some telephone numbers or something like that, if you become friends, I ask you to do that quickly, because I would really appreciate that you get in your vehicles and you go home and get out of here in the event there's any reaction by anyone. So again, thank you so much for your service. Just hand Corporal Bennett your jury pass on the way out and the verdict sheet. And been my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
I just ask everybody in the gallery to please remain in the courtroom until the jurors have left.
The exception being any member of the media that needs to step out for work.
Now back to the legal side. The judge confirms next steps with the attorneys. No objections, no remaining motions. Sentencing is scheduled for August 1st at 1:30 p.m. The courtroom shifts from emotion back to procedure. The verdict is done, now the consequences become real. And then comes the final instruction regarding the defendant.
Reasons you can do that. So.
Because the defendant was already detained before trial, and now has been found guilty of aggravated manslaughter and child endangerment, the judge orders him to remain in custody until sentencing. Reaction: this is the moment the defendant's future narrows. No more waiting at home. No more uncertainty. Just the countdown to sentencing.
I gotta take you as a group. Everybody ready? All right. Follow me.
Castle. They have their phones, or are their phones there? You gotta grab them.
Oh, they've got their phones? Corporal Bennett has the box.
Okay, there. Shut the door.
All right, thank you. Please be seated. All right, anything from the state?
No, Judge, thank you.
Ms. Moore, do we have a sentencing date?
Yes, Judge. August 2nd, 1:30 p.m. in person.
And that's a Friday?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Gallucci, is that acceptable for you?
Yes, Judge.
All right, anything else from counsel for the other side?
No, Judge, thank you.
All right, defendant was detained pre-trial, the jury having found him guilty of aggravated manslaughter, a first-degree crime, and endangering the welfare of a child, a second-degree crime. I order that he be remanded pursuant to Rule 3:21-4A, pending sentence.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
Counsel, it was a pleasure to have all of you here. Both sides did an excellent job. Made my job easier. Thank you both. Thank you all four of you, I should say.
All right, you folks can exit. Just remain in the hallway for a few minutes.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Steve. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Together. Dennis, can you just lock the doors for me when everybody's out? No. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Final overview. This case carried weight, a child endangered, a death involved, and a jury forced to navigate extremely difficult questions. Their verdict, not guilty of murder, but guilty of aggravated manslaughter and child endangerment. The sentencing will determine how many years the defendant spends behind bars. The judge, emotional but composed, reminded everyone why the jury system matters, and why justice depends on ordinary people doing an extraordinary job. Call to action, CTA. If you found this recap helpful, like, share, and subscribe for more real courtroom breakdowns. And let me know in the comments, do you agree with the jury's final decision? Why or why not?